She accused me of plagiarizing her thesis in front of the entire academic committee. She didn't know I was the professor who'd published that research 3 years earlier. The disciplinary hearing was packed. Department heads, faculty members, even the dean attended to hear allegations of academic misconduct. Christina stood at the podium holding printed pages. Professor Hayes plagiarized significant portions of my master's thesis for his recent journal publication. I sat calmly at the respondents' table taking notes. I submitted my thesis in May. His article was published in August. The similarities are undeniable. She displayed side-by-side comparisons on the projector. The passages were indeed similar, nearly identical in some sections. The committee chair, Dr. Morrison, frowned. These are substantial overlaps. Professor Hayes, what's your response? May I see the publication dates on both documents? Christina answered confidently. My thesis was submitted May 15th. Your article appeared August 3rd. Clearly you had access to my work and copied it. And when was my article actually written? That's irrelevant. It was published after my thesis submission. I opened my laptop. Dr. Morrison, I'd like to submit publication records for the committee's review. I displayed my research timeline. This article was based on a study I conducted from 2019 to 2021. The first draft was completed in January 2022, 16 months before Christina's thesis. Christina interrupted. That's impossible to prove. The journal has timestamped submission records. I submitted the article in March 2022 for peer review. It underwent revision for 5 months before publication. Dr. Morrison examined the documents. This shows submission 14 months before the thesis in question. But he could have altered those dates, Christina insisted. The journal's editorial records are independent. Professor Hayes has no access to modify their systems. I pulled up another document. Here's my original grant proposal from 2019 outlining this exact research. It was funded by the National Science Foundation. Christina was in high school when I started this project. The room went silent. Dr. Morrison turned to Christina. Miss Warren, how do you explain these timelines? Maybe there was confusion about dates. Or maybe you plagiarized Professor Hayes' published work for your thesis, Dr. Morrison said. Christina's face went pale. That's not what happened. I displayed her thesis next to my published article. My article appeared in the August issue, available online July 20th. You submitted your thesis August 29th, 6 weeks later. I started my thesis in January. Then you should have January drafts showing your original work. Do you? She didn't answer. Dr. Morrison requested Christina's thesis drafts. She claimed her computer had crashed and lost early versions. The committee compared her final thesis to my published article. Entire paragraphs matched word for word, including a specific citation error I'd made that was corrected in later printings. Miss Warren, you copied Professor Hayes' published research, including his mistakes, then accused him of stealing from you, Dr. Morrison stated. I didn't know it was his article. I found research online and thought you could incorporate published work without citation, then accuse the original author of plagiarism when he served on your defense committee. Christina tried another approach. This is retaliation because I criticized his teaching methods. I pulled out my teaching evaluations. You gave me excellent reviews last semester. This accusation came 2 days after I informed you that your thesis needed major revisions. The committee deliberated for 20 minutes. Christina's degree was revoked, and she was expelled for academic dishonesty and filing false accusations. She tried appealing, claiming the process was biased because I was involved. The appeal board found the evidence overwhelming regardless of my participation. 6 months later, Christina's name appeared in academic integrity databases, making it nearly impossible to pursue graduate studies elsewhere. Last month, a colleague mentioned seeing her working retail. She told me she left academia voluntarily, said it was too political. Some students think they can plagiarize published research and avoid detection by accusing the original author. Christina learned that strategy fails spectacularly when you plagiarize the work of the professor evaluating your thesis. She didn't just steal my research. She accused me of stealing my own work in front of the academic committee that knew I'd published it years before she'd even started her program.